Good afternoon, everyone. Want to welcome everybody to our Committee of the Whole for Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. Welcome our staff, counselors, those who are in the gallery, visitors, and a special welcome to Mr. Jason Hahn, who's the municipal advisor for our area. Welcome, Mr. Hahn. You're here doing is this official or just you'll be recorded. Anyway, welcome, sir. Glad to have you. So call the meeting to order. We acknowledge you are Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. So moving on the agenda, 2.1 is the approval of the agenda. I ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Gilroy, seconded by Councillor Gould. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion is carried. 2.2, approval of the minutes. So the recommended motion is that the minutes of the March 20th, 2024 regular Committee of the Whole meeting be approved as presented, please. Moved by Councillor Joseph, seconded by Councillor McCormick. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion is carried. 2.3, business arising. Our CAO, Mr. Harrop, is going to speak to this.
Thank you, Your Worship. Business arising is at pages 9 and 10 of Council's agenda package. The first lot of it is business arising from the March 20th Committee of the Whole. Number of items, most of them are complete. The drafting and presentation of the Commercial Development Support Bylaw is in progress. The amended fees policy was forwarded to the March regular council meeting for consideration and approval. It since was deferred, but it was referred at that point in time. The draft asset management policy was referred to council March 27th and approved. The motion regarding setting dates for the election in October was forwarded to the March 27th council session and approved. A motion regarding the approval of the name change of the tourism signage guidelines and standards document was approved. And a motion to the regular council meeting to ratify the appointment of Ronald Allen Webb to the board of Cumberland Senior Care Corporation says that it's complete, but we did miss that, and it will be on the agenda of our regular council meeting next week. The letter was sent to the CAOs of Oxford and Amherst regarding a collaborative approach on the Cumberland Public Library's funding issue, and that's complete. And we all also know that we've been able to negotiate an agreement amongst the municipalities and Cumberland Public Libraries to help them out with some funding on a one-year basis. The discussion with staff at the Municipality of Pictou to discuss their plans regarding coastal protection is underway. I know that Director Glenn has been chatting with them. On the ongoing action list, the proposed changes to the grants to organizations policy is on council's agenda today. Although I think it may be deferred. We've written to the Department of Public Works regarding concerns about the areas of responsibility in the north of the county in the Malagash and Wallace area, and requesting that responsibility be transferred to Cumberland County, the Cumberland County Depot. Haven't heard back yet. And the surplus municipal property strategy, I know that we've received some proposals. I know that Glenn and Justin have made some recommendations, and those are going to land on my desk tomorrow, I believe. So, Your Worship, happy to answer any questions that council has.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Harrop in regards to his report? Business rising. Seeing none. Thank you, sir. 2.4, public hearings or presentations. So we have with us 2.4.1. We have a presentation from proposed Blueberry Acres Wind Energy Project, SWEB Development. They're here to make their presentation. I asked them to come forward and maybe identify yourself, sir, so we have it for our minutes. And welcome. Thank you.
Your Worship, just while the gentlemen are taking their seats there, just want to be clear for everyone in the room and those who are watching on the live stream that today's presentation is information only. This isn't part of Cumberland Municipal Council's process. We haven't gotten to that point yet. This is simply an information session. So I just want to make that clear, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, gentlemen. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Having us here today, Council. My name's Sam Cheshire. I'm a project developer here at SWEB Development. I'm accompanied by Jason Parise, who is our Development Director. As you mentioned, we have a proposed project within your municipality. We're excited to sort of give you guys a little bit more information on it and sort of give you an update on where we are with the process, and just kind of give an overview of who SWEB is as a company as well. This kind of summarizes what we're hoping to achieve in the next few minutes, and hopefully we don't take up too much of your time. So SWEB as a company, we've been here for almost 15 years. We plan, we develop, we build, we operate. We've been a reliable partner for quite some time. Our owner company, WEB, out of Austria, has not sold a single project in 25 years, so we do pride ourselves on long-term ownership and sort of really wanting to take part in the communities that we do build in. Obviously, as part of that, we know that we have to work with communities and create those partnerships. We've got some exciting projects here in Nova Scotia, some in New Brunswick, and we've also then expanded into northeast parts of the US. Most of our staff here in Canada are based out of Halifax, with a number of people now in the northern parts of the States. And I think it's good to sort of cover off here what some of the benefits are of these sorts of projects. As we sort of mentioned, we are owned by an Austrian company, WEB. They're based in Austria. They have over 600 megawatts of renewable energies under operation. They're in over 8 countries. They're a community-owned organization with 8,000 or so investors, and 6,500 of those are shareholders. This kind of gives a bit of an overview of who we are as a company and what we're trying to achieve. As we sort of mentioned, we do want to work with the local communities. A lot of our projects do have community benefit funds, and this kind of lists off some of the organizations who have benefited from our projects across the last 14 or so years. Here's a quick summary of some of the projects we already have going in the Maritimes. SWEB was the largest of the the developers and owners in the Confit program that sort of finished up 2016, 2017. We've also been participating in New Brunswick Power's LORES program. We've continued to develop wind and solar throughout the Atlantic provinces. We had a very exciting project I'll cover off quickly later on with Woodstock First Nation on Wisconsin. That includes both solar as well within the community. And our large sort of partnership here in Nova Scotia started with Scotian Wind and Scotian Windfields, who are a large Confit player as well. So the Wisconsin project in New Brunswick, just across the border, it's 18 megawatts and 5 turbines in Albert County in New Brunswick. That was a very exciting project that we did in partnership with Woodstock First Nation. Part of the benefit there is we created a bursary program for students within that First Nation community. There are also a handful of other solar projects that kind of ran in conjunction. It was the first program that was awarded under the LORES New Brunswick Power program, and it was the first one to achieve commercial operation. Of that, only 50% of the projects within that program were actually successful. We were awarded Weavers Mountain as well here in Nova Scotia recently. It's kind of on the border of Pictou and Antigonish counties. It has a majority partner with Glooscap First Nation. We also have some community building and capacity building initiatives with Winds of Change, who are an African Nova Scotia organization, and Women in Renewable Energy. We have built a community liaison committee as required for that project, and it's one of the 5 projects that were awarded under the Nova Scotia Rate-Based Procurement Program back in 2022. This kind of brings us to what we wanted to talk to you guys about here today. So the Blueberry Acres project is looking to bid into the Green Choice program. This is a capacity RFP here in Nova Scotia for about 350 megawatts. We're expecting to hear about it later on this year, with bids closing in the middle of June. Obviously, as Nova Scotia moves towards our goal of 80% renewable energy by 2030, a large part of that is to help the large industrial users of Nova Scotia to meet those goals, and that's what the Green Choice program is aiming to do. After this program is awarded, completed, and constructed, we do expect there to be a couple of subsequent procurements as we head towards 2030. Then this brings us here to Blueberry Acres. So it's located here just off Westchester Road in Westchester Station in Cumberland County. It's between sort of 27 and 61.2 megawatts, and the final project size we're still working on, but we expect it to be between 4 and 9 turbines. And each turbine will be between 5.9 and 7.2 megawatts, and this will depend on which vendor we go with in the end and what size machine they have available at the time. We recently had a public engagement session here at the Westchester Fire Hall on March 28th. We expect to sort of finish up all of our environmental assessment work and file later on this year in September, hopefully. At which point, you kind of covered off here, we look to, if we were successful with the EA and with a power purchase agreement through the Green Choice program, we would look to enter into the development permit application with your municipality. If everything goes well, obviously then we would look to start construction in 2026, and the anticipated commercial operation date would then be 2028, probably December 2028. This kind of covers off where we are in our project development at the moment. We've started all of the land acquisition and the preliminary site analysis and design. We're working with First Nation communities for both engagement and partnership. Hopefully we will get a PPA, and we'll find out later on this year after the applications close. We're pretty heavily progressing on the environmental assessment. We've done a number of studies already. We're about to start spring bird migration studies. And yeah, we're very, very close to sort of having a complete design and a short list of wind turbine manufacturers. At which point, if we were to get a PPA, we'd start to look to spend a bit more money and start ordering all of the machines and equipment. This kind of covers off here as well the community benefits and partnerships that we're hoping to achieve with this project. So we are working with a number of First Nation communities, and this project will be majority owned by one or more First Nation communities. Once we have these agreements finalized, we look to share that information as well. One of the exciting things we're hoping to roll out with this round of projects is, as part of our community liaison committee, we're hoping to have a percentage of our project revenues to go back into the community every year. And so the CLC will be able to fund and allocate that how they see fit. We expect to see a pretty significant positive impact on local businesses, lots of opportunity for new employment, and obviously as well, there's the municipal tax requirements that these wind projects bring. So we would like to, or we would significantly contribute to your budgets as well. And then the one that, I hope we don't have to say, but we will be helping to reduce our emissions within Nova Scotia's grid. But yeah, I hope that was a good summary for everyone. And yeah, we're hoping to continue our stakeholder engagement. Hopefully in the next month or so, we would like to have a virtual community engagement session as well to help people who were unable to attend our last session. We want to cover off more of these community benefits and events throughout the next coming months. We want to continue talking to the municipality and talking to your planning team just to keep them apprised of what we are doing. And a huge part of our application too, we would like to formally request as well a letter of support on our project from the municipality, just to show that we have been working with you and that we would like to continue working with you guys. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any comments or questions from the councillors for our guests? See none. Thank you. I will ask. So the open house in Westchester. Do you know? I know you kept the attendance record there. How many attended the meeting?
Absolutely. Yeah. In the end, I believe we had 11 community members attend. We would like to have more than that, and we have in the past. We've run sort of 3 other community engagement sessions as well. That was kind of why we felt we might run another virtual one to help ensure that we have a higher attendance, and just that we're covering off as many questions as we can from the community before we file our EA.
Great.
I believe the first 2 we had, the first one I think was around 22 or so, and then the second one we had was closer to 30, and then the third one was virtual, and that was well attended as well, and everything was made public from that session as well, so.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here today, and thanks for the information.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Council.
Thank you. Thank you. That brings us down to our next agenda item, 3 under organizational policy bylaw items, 3.1 grants policy for 2025-2026. I believe before Mr. McCracken starts his presentation, I think there is a motion that I think council's prepared to move. Councillor McCormick, please. Oh, you're on there.
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to move the motion to have this removed from the agenda and it to be added to a future Committee of the Whole meeting for further discussions.
Second, motion by Councillor McCormick, second by Councillor Gould. Any questions or comments about that motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor McCormick, for that. That brings us down to number 4, business issues, 4.1, date of May 2024 council meeting. Mr. McCracken.
Thank you, Worship. So the May 2024 council meeting is scheduled during the same time that the Spring Association of Municipal Administrators of Nova Scotia conference is happening. It's happening here in our county at Fox Harbour, so we're pleased to be hosting folks here. Many of us on staff are part of the planning committee, and it's an event that we attend regularly as well. So it creates a conflict with our regular council meeting, which is on the, let me think here, the fourth Wednesday of the month. And so staff are asking that council consider changing the regular council meeting to the fifth Wednesday of the month at next week's regular council meeting. So there's a motion in your package for your consideration.
Thank you, sir. So the recommended motion is that council at the April 24th regular council meeting consider a motion to reschedule the May 2024 council meeting from the 4th Wednesday of the month to the 5th Wednesday of the month. Somebody make that motion. Moved by Councillor O'Telling, second by Councillor Goodwin. Questions or comments for Mr. McCracken? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you, sir. Number 5, external reports and committee minutes. 5.1, solid waste management monthly report is included, I believe, for your information. 6, internal update reports committee minutes. So 6.1, administration department monthly report. Mr. McCracken, please.
Thank you, Worship. Try to keep this brief. I know we've had a long day here, and we're actively recruiting a number of positions and made some offers that are in your package. So we've had some new staff added to the complement recently, so we're very excited to have them on board, and we anticipate an influx of around 20 plus summer students as well. There's a chart at the bottom of your page 47, just compares how many competitions have been opened from last year compared to this year, and happy to say it's less busy in terms of filling positions. So I think we're in a good spot in terms of employment, and things are settling down nicely. As you know, we have a new agreement waiting to be signed by the union. Other information, health and dental benefits of note, our premiums are going up a bit based on the charts below. Our health and dental benefits are quite well used, and so that has resulted in some increases in our premiums. However, it sounds like a lot, but the actual check to check sort of impact is is fairly minimal, but it is an impact on employees. But those are the premiums that we have to pay to retain our health and dental benefits. And there's some charts there on page 48 for your consideration. In terms of communications, lots happening from our communications officer. And in information technology, we've done a nice job of revamping our ticketing system, which monitors all our requests, and we had 94 total in March, and we started to categorize these into critical, major, moderate, and minor to help staff allocate resources for these and track over time. In terms of accessibility, you'll see later on on the agenda, there's an annual report for council's consideration. And we are going to be preparing to do some internal staff and awareness and training over the next several months to bring our foundational knowledge up to speed in terms of equity, diversity, and inclusion. I think that's it for me for now, and I'll open the floor to any questions folks have.
Thank you, Mr. McCracken. So any questions or comments from Mr. McCracken in regards to his monthly report? Councilor O'Talley, please.
I'm just wondering, as part of the EDI, will we be looking at creating an EDI policy?
Yes, probably is a good answer. So part of the provincial rollout of the legislation, there's anti-hate and discrimination legislation. I forget the bill number, but we'll be required to do a plan much like the accessibility plan. So within that, you could identify policy levers to help support EDI within the workforce or in the work we do or the services we provide, those sorts of things. So shorter answer is yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilor O'Talley, great.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Mr. McCracken? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. 6.2, Development and Planning Department Monthly Report. Mr. Boone, Director, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Reports in your package. If there's any specific questions, be happy to answer them. In general, we're seeing increased activity in the building permit, development permit work, which is common for this time of year. And we have a number of planning applications that are noted in the report, 3 of which go to public hearing next week. So those are probably the bigger highlights. For the report, you'll see a little bit more activity under economic development, now having full staff in place that's supporting that process and some of the things we're achieving. So unless there's specific questions, we'll leave the report there.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments for Mr. Boone in regards to his monthly report? None? I guess everyone's read the package there. Mr. Boone?
Yeah.
I guess
Justin was
everyone's
putting
read.
pressure on me. So.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We were having a brevity conversation this morning.
For you. So 6.3, Finance Department Monthly Report. Ms. Hurdle, our Director of Finance, please.
The bar's pretty high, Amy.
You stole my thunder.
You're on, Amy.
All right.
Thank you.
My
Save us.
very brief report is in the package. No, I will, though, there was a tax sale, so I will talk a little bit about that. So the tax sale was held on March 14th. There were 68 registered bidders. When the process began, we started with a total of 66 accounts with a total outstanding balance of $445,000, including the 7 adjourned from November. On the day of the tax sale, 24 accounts remained with a total balance of $276,000. 11 of the properties sold, including 2 of the previously adjourned ones, and 13 did not sell. So we're starting to prepare for the next tax sale in October, and those 13 that didn't sell, I'll be bringing something back to council at some point with a recommendation of what we should do with those ones. So that's how the tax sale went. If there are any questions? I will entertain them.
Thank you, Mr. Earl. Any questions in regards to the finance report, monthly report? Yeah, thank you. Just, just for anyone who's, Mr. Hahn's information, or for anyone who's watching online, the monthly reports are very detailed, multi-page reports.
Yes.
So, they're in the packages for counselors, they're posted online, so there's a lot of reporting information there. So, anyway, council obviously have taken the time to read it all, you've done a great job.
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
6.4, Protective Service Department monthly report. Mr. Cole, your turn.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm not going to try and beat Director Boone's record, but I do intend to be brief.
Thank you.
In fire services, pretty much a normal month statistically. Between motor vehicle and medical calls, we're up at 70% of all callouts when adjusted for mutual aid. Bylaw, we had 15 green bins and an ongoing cattle at large issue. There's a few details about facilities issues that are being resolved. And one thing that I did want to bring to council's attention is on page 61 of the report, there's a brief couple of sentences there about energy tracking. And part of that is our solar arrays and the income that they bring in. We've just started putting this together, so in future months, we'll be able to track energy usage and energy income from our solar and facilities. I'd also like to bring to council's attention that the Westchester fire truck arrived about an hour ago, and it's in the lot outside.
Councilor Redmond will be really disappointed. She's sick, as we all know. She'll be really disappointed she's not here today.
Westchester Rescue Truck, I
Yes,
should correct
yeah.
myself.
So she'll be very pleased to hear that. Thank you.
Is there a
Thank you,
schedule
sir.
for rides or, no?
Free rides.
Is there
We can
schedule?
turn the siren on
Yeah.
for you.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Cole's report? None? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. 6.5, Public Works Department monthly report. Mr. Walcrest, Director.
The report is in your package, Council. You have to have 30 questions.
Okay, let's have lots of questions here. Any questions for Mr. Walcrest in regards to his report? Wow.
We discussed several of the comings and goings in the Public Works Department, such as the early approval of the capital projects that Council is aware of, and we've got the tender out for the paving and about 90% done, probably 95% done as of this presentation of the Princess Street sidewalk and paving tender as well, so that'll be hitting the street very soon. We have submitted all of our annual reports for our Cumberland Water Utility and all the 3 water systems and the 10 wastewater facilities to Nova Scotia Environment for their review, all ahead of schedule this year. And there is a bullet point list of some of the activities the Public Works have been up to over the last month. And still happy to take any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Walcrest?
You know, I would also add, if I could, Your Worship, you know, Justin's been involved in discussions with regard to EPR and the solid waste collection. We're also talking about the approval process for our transfer stations, all kinds of good work in the background. It's not just about, it's not just about the things that are in this
That's right.
report.
No, I agree. Yeah, the reports. Councilor McCormick, sorry.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have one question. Do we have somebody that is going to build a shelter for the Lamp Cabin Memorial Park?
Your Worship?
Yeah, Mr. Walcrest, I'll be interested to hear your answer, yeah.
Staff have been reaching out over the last several weeks to local contractors. Many are busy or don't have the capacity to do it right now. We are continuing to expand the list of folks we're speaking to and are attempting to find there. We're getting a list to kind of review with the rest of the senior management team to see if there's someone suitable that we can get. But we are continuing to try, but it's been a challenging to find a contractor right now.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilor McCormick?
Yes,
Great,
thank you.
Any other questions? Councilor Hotelling?
I was just wondering if the reuse centers are going to have signage on them, just giving a bit of information on how they can be used.
Your worship?
Yeah, Mr. Walkrest, please. Thank you.
Yes, CAO Harriet and I discussed the reuse centers as part of some of our broader discussions on the transfer stations already this week, and agreed that to be more successful, we'll need to have proper signage informing folks on how to use those facilities.
And maybe some shelving. Also, I don't know what size the structure would be for the lamb cabin, but there is a draw for a gazebo from Crossroads that the Pugwash Legion is putting on right now. It's $20 a ticket, so if that works, I don't know, we're allowed to do that.
Buy a ticket.
Just write
Thank-
a check.
You charge for advertising it.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Councilor Telly. Any other questions for Mr. Walkrest? Deputy Mayor Gilroy.
Now that the Bears are back, are we gonna unlock the green bin and whatever in Tidnish, please? Is there any chance of that happening soon?
We'll work with the contractor. I believe most of them are open now, but if there's any that aren't, I'll make sure that the contractor gets those unlocked.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Okay, Deputy Mayor, you good? Good, sir. Any other questions? Councilor Telly?
Sorry, just reminded me. Is there going to be a green bin in Pugwash this summer?
Your worship?
Go ahead. Mr.
So
Walkrest, yeah.
previously, the green bin that was at the transfer station had been removed as part of some of the renovations we did there in January of this year. We haven't found a new home for it yet where it can be under more scrutiny, but staff will get back to that and continue to try to locate a place for it.
We've explored a few locations. Quite clearly, the remote location near the transfer station just won't work because it doesn't have the public scrutiny, and that does help. So, we explored one place in particular that didn't work out. So we'll continue to try to find a spot.
Would the fire hall work?
We'll continue to try to find a spot.
Okay, Councilor Telly?
Yep.
Good, great, thank you. Any other questions or comments from Mr. Walkrest? Sir, I think next time you want to go through your report.
Happy to answer council questions.
I know, you are, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate all your help from the directors. Thank you, sir. 6.6, Recreation and Community Services Department Monthly Report. Mr. McCracken.
Thank you, Worship. Just a few highlights. On page 66, you'll notice there's a slew of 25 or so training and development opportunities that happened since February all the way to June. Those are a partnership called Learn to Lead with the Town of Oxford, Town of Amherst, and Community Health Board, and range from everything from babysitting to self-defense and social marketing, food handlers, and so forth, and the attendance has been excellent so far. We're gearing up for summer programming, of course, and anticipating we're in the process of interviewing summer staff right now. Just a recap on the great volunteer event, appreciation event that we had last night, recognizing our the valuable contributions to our volunteers contribute to the community, and appreciate all the effort of those involved and who attended. And then finally, just the last couple things is the active living strategy engagements underway. We've had some great attendance at both in person and some youth survey, as well as this community survey, and we do intend to go to River Hibbert and Wentworth as well for some engagement. And as mentioned in a previous meeting, we are going to have that report in draft by the end of May. And finally, we are doing some demonstrations for a ticketing and booking system that we'll implement to take registrations and facility bookings, which is a step up for us into, I think, today's world of online bookings and payments. So that's going very well, and hope to have something in place this year. Happy to take questions.
Great, sir, thank you. Any questions or comments from Mr. McCracken? Councilor McCormick.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have one. Thank you for the kitchen at the community center. It's beautiful. Well appreciative.
Thank you, Councilor, and thank Council for the support for the capital influx there. Yeah, it's very very, it's a great upgrade to the
It
kitchen
is.
for sure, yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Mr. McCracken? I'd just like to say on behalf of council for last night's event, recognition for volunteers, for those who are fortunate enough to attend, to the staff and to the organizers. It was terrific. I can tell you the volunteers really appreciated it. Heard a lot of good comments on the way out the door about how impressed they were with everything from the food to the awards. Yeah, it was an excellent event. You know, it was terrific. So hopefully you pass it along to staff that we really appreciate
Will do.
the effort. It was
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It brings down number 7, the information item. So 7.1, accessibility plan update. Mr. McCracken?
Yeah, just in your package for an update. We've had an accessibility plan since, I believe, 2022, the fall, and within the terms of reference, it requires an annual update, or in the plan, it requires an annual update to council. Pleased to say that with our new community engagement coordinator, she's been able to take the time to look at all the activities within the plan and provide an update whether they're complete, in progress, or not started. So it really gives us a nice foundation for where we need to go next, and also what we can include and don't need to include in our next plan, which is due in 2025. So happy to take any questions on the plan, but mostly for your information.
Sir, thank you. Any questions or comments from Mr. McCracken in regards to that information item? Seeing none, thank you, sir, very much. Appreciate it. 7.2, Cumberland Public Libraries unaudited financial results for March. Mr. Hare.
Thank you, Your Worship. I put the unaudited financial results for March from the Cumberland Public Libraries and Council's package for this afternoon, just as an information item. But really wanted to speak just for a few moments to the agreement that we've reached between the town of Amherst, the town of Oxford, and the municipality and Cumberland Public Libraries. As everybody knows, Cumberland Public Libraries was experiencing and has experienced a budget deficiency the last few years. Cause for concern for the funders, for sure, but also cause for concern for those folks who use the library, because the board had decided to cut some hours in some of the branches, most notably in Spring Hill, Parsboro, and Pugwash. Pleased to say that we were able to negotiate an agreement with all of those partners for one-time bridge funding. And in return for that one-time bridge funding, the library board has agreed to restore those hours to all of those branches. And if that hasn't been restored yet, it certainly is well on the way. I have received correspondence from Chief Librarian about what our targets were to return to those former hours. I'm also pleased to say that in return for that bridge funding, we've put an agreement in place where my fellow CAOs and I, along with the Chief Librarian, will perform a detailed review of the finances and operations and services provided by the library over the next few months and provide a report by the end of September. That the library is required now to provide monthly financial statements to us, and that this inclusion in the package is a product of that. And in return, we've all agreed, the municipalities have all agreed to provide bridge funding, and I'm also pleased to say that has reverted back to our long-standing sharing percentage on a per capita basis with our partners. So I think it was a win-win for all parties concerned, and happy to say that we're able to get something done and be able to restore services to our libraries, because I know that our communities and our residents certainly rely on those facilities. So happy to answer any questions about that. Council certainly was briefed on that, but happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments from Mr. Hare in regards to the library report? Seeing none, thank you, folks. That brings us down to adjournment. So I'd ask for motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by Deputy Mayor Gilroy. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Thanks to staff for being here today, and appreciate all your great efforts on our behalf. It's much appreciated. Thank you.